wonderful, introduction, and I was actually amazed, seeing these kids here. This is working. Yeah. So I am still amazed, and I need to, feel that more of an amazement, with the group B. So, Nancy just said, man of successful failures. I don't know whether I am or not. Recently, in one of these interviews which I had, somebody addressed me with this man of successful failures. So I don't know why the person said like that. Probably it means that I would have taken the failures in my life, took them as stepping stones, and became successful. Maybe. Maybe the person wanted to say, or probably I now know 100 reasons or 100 ways of how not to fail. Or maybe it is addressed, or somebody is addressed as a successful failure. Probably the word successful comes before the word failure when you become one. When you become successful. So what else, what better than telling you a story? Being a storyteller, being an author. Let me, recite a story for you. You want to listen to this? Yes. Okay. So, once upon a time, I've been so fond of this four letters, once upon a time. So once upon a time, there was a boy. There was a boy who was poor in English. And he was really good in all the subjects in his classes, I would say. So good that he was so good in mathematics that he won the Maths Olympiad and was also a child scientist at the state level recognized by National Children's Science Congress. But he was poor in English. So one day in the parents-teacher meeting, Ma'am John, the teacher, the English teacher of this child, told his father, this guy requires some mentoring in English. Why don't you, arrange someone? So this man, the father of this child, was from a humble background with 4 sons to take care of. He could not afford to. But then this boy did not give up. He wanted to master this language. So while one day he was, coming back from school, he saw one statue, one half-worked, a semi-finished statue. He looked at it, a very strange statue, brushed aside on the road. He was finding it very strange. What kind of thing this is? Probably, I don't know what. He thought. And he then went back home. While he was at home, he drew a picture of that statue. And then he kept that picture under his pillow for months, till that picture, that paper got torn into pieces. And then a few days later, while he was coming back from school on a tea shop, there was a man who was speaking to the other person. And he was saying that, I am reading this news about a person who, from being a peon, a helper, from being an office boy, has become a bank manager. Do you believe this? He said, how did he manage to do this? So this man said that, he bettered, he improved his communication skills. He, of course, got himself educated. He took night classes and all. And he's mastered this. He's good as a communicator. He knows probably the requirement which is there at the banks, but he's now a bank manager. So he said, but how did he manage to do that? So he said that this man actually, read a lot of newspapers. The kids are listening? Yes? So he read a lot of newspapers. Every day he used to read a newspaper. So this boy who was passing by, he heard this conversation, very interesting conversation, and probably related to him somewhere at that point in time in his life. So he went to his father. And before going to his father, he went and found out that the English tuition teacher or that mentor would charge him 600 rupees per month, which was too much for the father, too much for the son to convince his father. But then, the Times of India monthly would only require 80 rupees per month to get subscribed. So he had a good reason to convince his father. He went to his father and told him. The father was pretty okay to allow, and the newspaper was subscribed. And then every single day when he used to come back from his school, he never ever had his lunch before finishing every printed word written on that newspaper. He read every printed word on that newspaper. 24 years later, this boy became a best-selling author. And now you must be thinking, this is my story. So let me make you keep guessing that. Maybe because I am a fiction writer and also a non-fiction writer. So maybe I just cooked it up. Okay? Okay, fine. So coming back to the reason why I was called here, which was importance of reading in life. So what I feel is that before I probably talk about the importance of reading and writing in life, let me ask you 4 questions. First question: do you think this boy became whatever he has become just because of reading or reading? He could become one of the reasons. Okay, no? Okay, yes, one of the reasons. Somebody said yes. So do you feel that his voracious reading habit helped him become an author also? Yes. Okay. Do you feel his voracious reading habit and his writing which he was doing probably must have also helped him later on to become a good speaker also? Yes. Because later on he became a good speaker also. Now the 4th question. Do you think having a command over a long language and being a good communicator is enough to become successful in life? So as you all rightly said, very basic questions, anybody could answer them. So the answer to the first 3 questions was yes, and the last one was a no. So that's what my point is, that in life you have to be persistently consistent and passionately curious if you really want to succeed in your life. So the importance of reading in life. So before I say something about it, why don't you tell me, what is the importance of reading in life? Basic reasons of, we know that we evolve, we grow, but what else? Knowledge. Okay, what else?
Good communication.
Good communication.
That gives you a lot of creativity.
Lot of creativity.
Good vocabulary.
Good vocabulary.
Imagination.
Imagination. Super. Yes, the little girl here.
Marks.
Oh wow, she is bang on. She is right on track probably, yes? Your father asks you to get marks? Tell him I don't want marks. Okay, so what else? What else?
Self-introspection.
Self-introspection, super. What else? What else? Thinking. Yes, I think just 2 minutes. I'll not bore you more.
Knowing about other people's life stories.
Yes, somebody said?
Growing your dreams bigger.
Growing your dreams bigger. True. Exposure. Vision. Rightly. All of you have said probably a lot of things which makes reading important. So, have you ever wondered anybody who is super successful? You take any of these CEOs, any of those political leaders in US, India, I will not say all leaders in India, but yes, in majority of the countries, don't you think they have always been good readers and they are wonderful speakers? So do I make a point here? Even if you don't want to become, or you don't become a successful CEO or a chairman in a company, even if you don't become a political leader or a prime minister or maybe a president of the country, you can still make your life successful, happy. We all, every day, move out of a house with some other reason to make it better. And the basic reason is to get happiness. Yes or no? We're going to buy happiness, creativity inside you. It's not that anybody would write for you and tell that this is what you're going to be in your life. You have to write your own life. So I think, I have made my point. I'll not take too much of time. There's a group B which is waiting. Big children are waiting basically. So thank you all of you. Best of luck in life. Take care.
I would, Rohit sir, Managing Director of Shanti and Vidyapit School, sir, please join them. And Saurabh Juneja sir, please join them.
Please, can we have a group picture?
Sorry.